It's December, and that means Ask Dash. Let's get into another one.
Get ready.
Heyo, this is Dash, and welcome back to the Ask Dash 2022 series. This is gonna serve as number 14. So this year, or not this year, with this particular question, there are two parts. So we have the first question comes from Nikki Bateson. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly, Bateson. And I do believe it was a female. She says, pit beef, how do you do it? I would like to know. Nikki, for the record, I would like to know too. I don't do pit beef. I'm gonna get comfortable, get a nice deep stance here. Pit beef is grilling because it is direct heat cooking. Pit beef is not barbecue to me. Again, pit beef is grilling. So I don't do pit beef. I know there are a lot of people in my area that do pit beef. One of the main people in my area that does pit beef, there's two that I'm a fan of. One is Rob over at Chap's Pit Beef. And the other is, there is a pit beef spot that's really not far from me. It's probably 10 minutes away from my house. It's called Pioneer Pit Beef. It's on Rolling Road, just south of Security Boulevard. And again, if you don't know, I live in Baltimore City. This particular pit beef place, again, Pioneer Pit Beef, it is on Rolling Road, just south of Security Boulevard in Catonsville. So it's not very far from my house. And I like the pit beef from there, better than I like the pit beef from Chaps. But that could just be me because I've had the pit beef at Pioneer Pit Beef a lot more because it's closer to my house than Chaps is. Chaps is clear on the other side of town. Actually, that side of town. I'm headed east. Clear on the east side of town. But I don't know how to do pit beef. I have actually only witnessed pit beef being cooked one time in my presence. And I was too busy grilling hot dogs and hamburgers for an event at my kid's school while the guy who was cooking the pit beef cooked the pit beef. I didn't see how he did it, really. And then the second part of this is coming from Terry from Mad with Barbecue. He says, hey, yo, Dash, how do I smoke a leg of lamb and what seasoning should I use? So you're going to smoke a leg of lamb just like you would smoke anything else. In my opinion, you're going to just cook it low and slow. And I'm still dealing with the remnants of bronchitis, so I apologize. But that's why I'm, coughing up a lung, probably literally. I'm pretty sure I have a video, and if I do have a video, I'll try to link it down below, of me cooking a leg of lamb low and slow on the Big Green Egg. The Big Green Egg, me cooking legs of lamb on the Big Green Egg, that has been one of my favorite, one of my go-to things to cook on the Big Green Egg is whenever I do a leg of lamb, be it, and actually my favorite, for my family, I cook a bone-in leg of lamb. But when I am cooking lamb for customers, I do boneless legs of lamb. Again, it's just the difference in the time. That bone in the leg of lamb is going to make it take a lot longer. Bone-in meats just take longer to cook. But on the Big Green Egg, I will shoot for 250 degrees or so. Let that lamb come up to 130, 135 degrees max. And then I'm going to sear it for a moment or so. And you can also let it come up to a lower temperature, like 120, 125 degrees. And then sear that last 10 degrees or so. Again, you really don't want to I don't like letting my lamb get higher than 135 or 140. That is like a rare to a medium, mid-rare to a medium rather. So, and then what to season it with, really, you're gonna have to figure out what you want to season your lamb with. I just know that one of the things that is a staple whenever I'm cooking lamb is I have to have some rosemary on it. And in it too, like, cause I'm opening up the flaps of the boneless leg of lamb. So a good amount of salt, a decent amount of salt, and like a grouping of seasonings that you gotta figure out what you're gonna cook. One of the things you know about me, I'm not telling you exactly what I put on my stuff. So, you know, remember before, a little bit of F and a little bit of U. All right. So Kirk says, what's your lamb recipe? All right. So Kirk has been asking me about my lamb recipe for a few years, and this seems to be his go-to question. So first thing I do is put a little F in it, and then I take and then I add a little bit of U. All right, and that's the magic that happens, and poof. All right. Okay, that's what goes into. That's what I use to season my lamb. But I will tell you, in my opinion, a lot of times, or what I found is seasonings are undersalted because the seasonings are meant to be even, okay? So I find them undersalted. So I usually will add a sprinkling, an additional sprinkling of some coarse kosher salt. And then whatever seasonings I'm using, one of the primary seasonings, and I'll give you this, has got to be rosemary, okay? So hopefully that helps, Terry. Hopefully. Let me just make sure there was nothing else that I needed to answer, because I do apologize. I know there have been a couple questions where I answer like the first part and then I get to talking and then it's like 9 minutes later and I didn't even talk about the second part of the question, or if it was a 2-part question or 3-part question and I missed one of the parts. So I do apologize if you feel slighted, like if your question wasn't answered 100%. Please feel free to be like, hey, wait, I asked you about this and you only talked about that. Just let me know and I'll try to either address it in the comments, or if possible, I can have a whole nother video for you. All right. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Terry, so very much for asking great questions. I wish I was a better authority on pit beef. I'm really not. That is not my wheelhouse. That's just not something I do. So I do apologize. And Terry, hopefully that gives you at least some help with your leg and lamb. Like I said, cook it low and slow. Let it get to 10 or 15 degrees under temperature, and then I like to give it a good sear. So, and then some, I like I said, salt it, and make sure whatever seasoning you use has a decent amount of rosemary. All right. So hopefully that helped, or that will help you guys. Thank you guys so very much as always for watching. Don't forget, don't be bashful. Make sure you leave your question with your comments down below. And if I have, we got plenty of time so far, I can answer your question directly. Anyway, thanks again as always for watching. I'll see you next time.
More butter, baby.